Hello.
Oh,
Hi, Frog. How's things?
hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you, Kelly?
I'm very good.
Good.
Very admiring of your backdrop and your bow tie there.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to look respectable. During lockdown, it's quite easy to let things slip.
Yeah, no, I still haven't got over the olive tree backdrop.
Oh yeah. No, that's.
But because I was going, there's something very Spanish looking. I can't pin it down. So I'm glad I wasn't.
It's just our patio. That's all. I also our neighbour's extension is in a slightly more more kind of continental style, I guess. But yeah.
Is your hair slightly longer as well?
It is, yeah. My hair is long. I just tried to kind of put some wax on it so as it looks less long than it is. I was also considering the hat option, but I was worried about blocking the backdrop with that.
Because I think that might be it too. Like I always think of Spanish people as having quite neat hair and things like that.
Oh right, yeah.
And maybe the sort of having longer hair, it looks neat or something. I don't know. But it's sort of, so
Hello. Welcome
Yay.
to the I Spy Camberwell quiz. Oh, hello, Nicole. How are you?
You're right. Hi, Nicole. How's things?
Oh, I'm good. Hello. Right.
Frog and I were yabbering away because we were sort of just checking that the Zoom thing was working, kind of thing. So.
Oh right. Okay. Good. Well, I'm your participant then. I'm just getting the map up on the other thing.
Get some other people. So anybody who's watching, I think this is going out on the Camberwell website and on some social media stuff. So Nicole, who you'll see, or whatever way she is on the screen to you, has done the Camberwell Arts A to Z. We've been working on that. We've done a Magic Lantern A to Z. So if you go to artofthemagiclantern.co.uk, you can see the A to Z.
And it's looking mighty fine, I have to say.
Thanks.
So you're actually looking quite refreshed. I thought you might be looking all kind of harassed from kind of trying to get it finished on time.
I was like that a few days ago. Trust me.
No, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Thanks
very much. I have to, I think, see if we can get it playing in some way in its entirety for the closing party on Sunday.
Ah,
there we go. This is one of the things that we have done. So there we go.
Hey.
So you just find out if you go to artofthemagiclantern.co.uk, and it's also on the Camberwell Arts.
That's quite trippy, actually. I feel like I'm in some kind of satanic church or something like that with the stained glass effect. Yeah, no, that looks pretty good. So everyone's getting pretty good at their backdrops, I think.
Well, trying to. We're going to see how all that works in a moment. So yes.
That looks.
There we go. Oh, that's from later. So there we go. There's one of Nicole's. You can see more of these if you go on to onto the incidents. Those were not what we wanted you to be spying. So. And apologies for anybody who didn't want to see that. That is not yes. So in the picture we have behind us, which is what I do want you to be looking at. This is I Spy Camberwell. And if you go to the website, it is ispycamberwell.co.uk. There is a bigger version of the picture there, which you can look at. It's also got Zoom, so you can zoom in on details. And we're going to be asking some questions about it. So if you've got if you're lucky enough to have like a second device, you can get it up on there. Or if you can also print it out. If you've got a printer, it should print out okay at A4 size, like that. Or or you can, if you've got a laptop, you can flick between two screens. And you're also going to need a pen and paper to write down your answers. We're going to do some questions. We're going to talk about the map, the design behind me a bit. We're going to talk about various other things that have as well. But there's going to be 26 questions, one for each letter of the alphabet. Hopefully we'll get through them all. 26 is quite a lot, so if we only get halfway through, we will allow for that. And there will be prizes, so if anybody wants to dial in quickly and join us in the Zoom meeting here, you need your video on so we know who you are. If you want to join the competition and play along, then I'm going to give some artwork away to the winners. So what I was going to do is I'm going to get some prints of this done. Obviously, it might take a few days because of all the lockdown and stuff. I'm going to get some prints done, and we will, or the winner will win a signed print, and the rest of the edition of prints I will auction off. I'm thinking to raise money for food banks, as that's an important thing at the moment. We will probably give donations for any sold to the Southwark Day Centre for Asylum Seekers, just down the road from Camberwell. They're doing some good work at the moment, helping people out a bit stuck at the moment. So prize is going to be a print of this to stick on your wall at home. Pens and papers at the ready. And again, you might want to have a look at this. I'll try and move to one side so hopefully you can see it on your screen, but get it up in a web browser in another window. So in the picture behind me, there are 26 hidden items, one for each letter of the alphabet. In fact, I did the alphabet twice. So there are 52 hidden items in there. Plus there are 10 bonus things, which we're going to talk about as well. So if you go on the I Spy Camberwell website, you can find the 10 bonus items. Now, the 10 bonus things relate to artworks I've been making in Camberwell. Now, one of the things that worried me about the Camberwell Arts Festival this year was I thought, oh, it might not happen, because I was coming up to nearly 10 years of doing the festival. And I thought, I'm not going to make it to 10 years. They're going to have to cancel this year. But fortunately, they have Kelly and Shauna and Debbie and everybody has pulled things together and put it online, so we can kind of do this. And I will make it to 10 years. Though I was having trouble figuring out when the 10th year was. We're going to go back to 2011 in a moment. But there are going to be hidden artworks we'll talk about, and I'll show you some images of those and explain what's going on. So we're going to start with letter A. So have you all got your pens and papers at the ready? Yes. So behind me here, we can see an astronaut. Now, in 2013, Camberwell's first astronaut set off on a bus from Camberwell out into space. He had built, the spaceman had built his own spacesuit from items brought from local Camberwell pound shops. Here you can see him setting off a few years ago at the bus stop. His suit cost a mere £20 from items from the discount stores in Camberwell. Nobody knows if he's made it yet. I think his phone has run out of battery, but maybe we will hear back from him. Mars is quite a long way on the bus. So during the lockdown, a few weeks ago, Elon Musk also set off into space. He launched the first commercial space flight into outer space. And on the map, you will find the space rocket. And what I want is your answer for A is, what is the name of Elon Musk's space project, the first commercial space flight? You'll find it on the map if you look carefully, but you might not be able to read the letter, so you might have to try and remember what that is. So it was launched about 2 weeks ago, I think. You could have watched it, zoomed it over the internet, much as you're zooming our spaceman here. So now we move on to letter B. And B is for bingo. Here we can see our bingo machine in the Tiger pub. We did bingo for Camberwell Arts. We did Mexican wrestling bingo, not in the Tiger pub, but it was just down the road in the Stormbird. And that was in 2011. Here you can see our Mexican wrestling bingo player about to dive into a ball pool. Here we go. Fills with giant bingo balls. He wrestled each and every one of those bingo balls, all 90 of them, and pulled out the winning numbers. Now, bingo has bingo calls, and you saw a bingo caller helping him out there. Now, you get many different bingo calls. You may remember some of them. There's Legs 11, Clickety Click, 66, Naughty 40, Burlington Bertie, number 30, Two Fat Ladies, Wobbly Wobbly, number 88. But our question is this: what number is 20? What number is Two Little Ducks? What number is Two Little Ducks? What number is Two Little Ducks? So while you're thinking about that, we're going to make our way across the scene. We're going to go and find. So we've got. So one of the C's on our map is Joseph Chamberlain, who you'll see down in the corner. There we go. I'll try and zoom in on him for you here. Go. So somewhere on here, down here, oh, right in the bottom hand corner over here, we will see, it's about there, there we go. There's Joseph Chamberlain. He was a famous Camberwell resident. He was, he was almost prime minister on a number of occasions. He was leader of the opposition for both the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party, and caused quite a stir for both parties. Very important fellow, beginning with C. But we are going to ask you for another famous person beginning with C, this time a movie star. So I would like you to name a movie star who made his debut at Fred Carno's Fun Factory in Camberwell. Movie star beginning with C who made his debut at Fred Carno's Fun Factory in Camberwell. Very, very famous, perhaps the most famous movie star, as a clue. Now we make our way over here to D for dog. There we go. We have a dog, one of the many dogs who walk on Camberwell Green. This is a sausage dog, who some of you might recognise. Belongs to Amy, though I couldn't find a particular picture of her particular dog. So if any of you know Amy, who does Camberwell Arts, she has a fantastic sausage dog. And here you can see taking on a jaguar in the photo, in the image here. Now, there is also a fantastic dog show which takes place every year on Camberwell Green. They've had to have a cat show this year instead because they could not do the dog show on the green. So our next question is going to be about dogs. What is the most popular breed of dog in London? What is the most popular breed of dog in London? So you might want to have a think about that. It's not the obvious one that I thought of, I have to say, though I think I live in a slightly less posh part of London. So yes, which is the most popular breed of dog in London? And this is I'm going to go by the Kennel Club. So now we move on to our next one, which is all about transportation. You'll see there are many modes of transport in the picture here. Now, what we are looking for in this next one is, now, Camberwell has a very famous bicycle shop called Edwards Cycles. They opened in 1908 and they still are open in Camberwell. You can still get bikes from them. They sold the very first safety bicycles in London, the very first safety bicycles. Now, I want you to have a look on the picture and find a safety bicycle of the kind that were popular in 1908. Which kind of bicycle was popular in 1908 and made the name of Edwards Cycles? Also, if you look through the picture while we're on E, we also have a lot of balloon emojis who have appeared at Camberwell Festival on numerous occasions. I know both Nicole and Kelly have helped out with these on many occasions. So here we can see some of the balloon emojis we made last year for the party year. We have made many hundreds of these, and you'll see them floating across the picture. There we go, balloon emojis, there we go, with the faces on. So you can have a look for those on the picture while you're thinking of your answer. So now we make our way across the green to Camberwell Fair. The famous Camberwell Fair, it ran since the Middle Ages in Camberwell. And here you can see it. And we have this year playing, if only it hadn't been cancelled due to COVID, Florence Welsh would have headlined the main stage, local resident from Florence of the Machine. Oh, hello, Paul. Local residents from Florence and the Machine would have headlined this year at Camberwell Arts Festival, if only we'd been allowed to go ahead. Never mind, another year. So Camberwell Arts Festival dates back to the Middle Ages. It was unfortunately stopped, but here we have a poem from this fantastic book, which you can get, which is a lot of information came from the story of Camberwell. There's a couple of other good ones as well. This is also another good one you can find, the Camberwell Travel Guide. But this is a poem about the Camberwell Fair. This is an invitation song for the London lads and lasses. Camberwell Fair, I now declare, all others now surpasses. Both young and old, the spruce and gay, the clown and beau invited, with rural scenes upon the green. You are sure to be delighted. Browsy Nan with her dripping pan has sausages to sell too, but as each link she knew must stink, she garnished them with mustard, and some who ate them thought them as sweet as though they had eaten custard. There we go. So that's Camberwell Fair. Unfortunately, it got somewhat raucous and rowdy some time ago and had to be stopped. In which year was Camberwell Fair closed down? In which year was Camberwell Fair shut down? It was closed. And the land was sold off to stop them doing it anymore. It was sold off to the local church, I believe. So when was Camberwell Fair closed? So now we make our way over here to the spire of St Giles's Church. And St Giles was the patron saint of the crooked and the ill and the crippled and the invalid. But he was also a hermit. So we'll talk a little bit more about hermits later. So that's probably where the hermit myth of Camberwell probably came from, St Giles. He was a hermit in southern France. He was killed by, he wasn't killed, he was maimed by an arrow. He was shot. And the reason he was shot accidentally by hunters because he was living amongst animals and he had a favourite pet. St Giles had a favourite pet, and he's often depicted with this pet in photographs. But what animal did St Giles live with? Which animal did St Giles live with? He's often depicted with this animal in imagery. So that was question G. And we now make our way across the green. And here we see the hermit living in the Hermit's Cave. Now, the Hermit's Cave is a pub on Camberwell Green. I found a photo. Here we go. Here I am in the Hermit's Cave pub reading some poetry. I think, again, this is 2011. You might see a few people in the audience. The Hermit's Cave is a pub in Camberwell. It is on the corner of two streets. It is on the corner of two streets. Which two streets is the Hermit's Cave on the corner of? Which two streets in Camberwell is the Hermit's Cave on the corner of? That is question H. Here we go. I'm reading some poetry here. This was part of our pub crawl in Camberwell we did in 2011. I see Paul has joined us. This is Paul at the pub crawl in that very year, 9 years ago. There we go. This is the sculpture garden we did in the Crooked Well. So we're just talking about St Giles, and one of the reasons he's associated with Camberwell is because there was once a well here which was believed to be able to cure the sick, as many spas and bits and clean water was once upon a time. So the Crooked Well got its name from it cured the crooked, and thus St Giles became associated with Camberwell. So that is H. And now we make our way through Camberwell Green to over here we see an iguanodon. Of course, like the Camberwell beauty butterfly, the Iguanodon is also now extinct in Camberwell. But there is also another eye on this picture. There is an evil eye. There is an evil eye hidden on the picture somewhere. Can you find it? Can you find the evil eye? So you might want to get your browser up and have a look at the image. Here we go. We'll have some countdown music while you're doing that. I'll put the image up behind me. Here we go. So you can have a bit of a look. So have a look at the image. Any of you who have just joined in, you can go on the I Spy Camberwell website and you can zoom in on the image and get a closer look if you can't see it all behind me here. So there we go. So now we are going to move on to J, which is for jungle. Here we can see the Camberwell jungle. This is where the Camberwell Jungle Cafe gets its name from. However, I did find out while I was just after I'd finished making the picture that the Camberwell Jungle Cafe has appears to have closed. So it is no longer there. So we no longer have a J for our A to Z of Camberwell. So question number J is this. Question J, I would like you to find an item in your house that begins with J to fill in the missing J. So go around your house, find an item beginning with J. I will give you a kind of about a minute to do this. Here we go. Find an item that begins with J. Find an image that begins with J. Oh, is everybody back? Ooh. Find something that begins with J. Ah, what have we got? Ah, Sarah has found a jug. Well done, you get a point. Ah, Kelly has found a jug as well. Have you found anything beginning with J, Paul? Oh, jackets. Well done. Excellent. You get a point. There we go. Oh, we're just waiting for Nicole to come back. Have you found something beginning with J? Ah, jar. Excellent. Well done. Everybody gets a point for that. We'll give all the answers out in the end, but keep hold of your J items. So now we make our way. Now for K, we had Sam King, who was the first black mayor of London. You can look him up. I was going to talk about him, but there was a fantastic video about him last night. So I'll let you kind of go back and watch that. So for K, we shall move on to kebab. And if you go onto the A to Z of Magic Lantern website, you can see a fantastic kebab created by Nicole here. Now, there are many kebabs shops on Camberwell Church Street and all through Camberwell. So many kebab shops. You can, what I want you to do for number K is to name a kebab shop in Camberwell. Name a kebab shop in Camberwell. You've all been to them. And for this, I'm also going to allow, because the the vegetarian one as well that does kind of falafel kebabs, because that is actually a bit nicer than ones that do meat, to be honest. So a kebab shop in Camberwell. Name a kebab shop in Camberwell. There are many of them. You can see one on the image behind me, just kind of peeking out. You can only read half the name. You might be able to remember what the other half of the name was if you have been past there on the bus. Meanwhile, we are going to move on to L, which is for library, Camberwell Library. Now, the original library in Camberwell was bombed in 1944, and then it was temporarily moved to Camberwell Church Street, where it stayed for, well, about 60-something years, I think, until the new library was built. When did the new library in Camberwell open? When did the new library in Camberwell open? Which year did the new Camberwell Library open? When did the new Camberwell Library open? So now we're going to make our way down to the corner of the map. Remember, you can join us on ispycamberwell.co.uk and see what's going on. So M is for Michael Caine, who went to school in Camberwell. He's a famous South London resident. Here in this picture, you see him depicted in perhaps his most famous role, which was the Italian Job in 1969. So for our question, I'm going to ask you this. However, a few years later, in 1983, Michael Caine made another famous appearance in the film Educating Rita. And he appeared alongside a very famous female actor who played the female leading role in the film Educating Rita. Who played the female role, the lead female role in the Michael Caine film Educating Rita in 1983? So now we're going to make our way across the map over here. We're looking for the night bus. I mean, everybody's caught the night bus from Camberwell at some time. Here we see the Camberwell night bus. You can see the people asleep on the top deck. And here at the front, you can see is driven by an owl. There's an owl driving the night bus. Now, our question is this. For O, question for O is, what is a group of owls called? What is a group of owls called? So you might have a flock of geese or a murder of crows, but what is a collection of owls called? What is a collection of owls called? So we're now going to make our way over here. So we're going to see many different types of transport in Camberwell. We've got a tram behind me. We've seen the buses. Over here we have, I was struggling for things beginning with O. I eventually decided to go for omnibus, which is an old-fashioned name for bus. But this is one of the most tricky ones. So for O, are you all ready, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to go and find something for Camberwell that begins with O. So find something in your house that begins with O. Find something in your house that begins with O. This is a trickier one. Off you go. Find something beginning with O. So we want something beginning with O. Ah, excellent. Well, onion. Good. Well done. Orange. Fantastic. A point for both of you. Oh. We're waiting for Sarah and Nicole. If you're playing along at home, you can go and collect some things as well. So while we're waiting for the others, behind me you can see this fantastic pinata, which Nicole helped me to make last year for the Camberwell Arts Festival. It was smashed to pieces by... there we go, an onion. Excellent. An owl. There we go. Everybody gets a point. Well done. Right, so behind me here you can see the fantastic pinata being smashed to pieces by children. I've never seen anything vaporized before. It took a few goes to get it to break, but eventually the pinata was vaporized. But we're going to look for another P. You can look for pinata later. We're going to look for another P on our map, our image, which is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. So we're going to look for the... I want you to, so the Pied Piper of Hamelin, he was in a story by Robert Browning. He wrote a poem based on this popular German folk tale. And the Pied Piper, he went to the town of Hamelin, which was overrun by rats. And he promised that he would lead all the rats away by playing a magical tune on his pipe. And the people said they were very grateful. And he agreed to do this in return for payment. So he led all the rats away with his musical tune. And then he came back for payment. And the people of the town said, well, the rats are gone. We're not going to pay you now. Why should we pay you? There's no rats anymore. We're fine. So the Pied Piper took something else away with his magical pipe instead as payment. He took something else instead of money as payment. What did the Pied Piper take? What did the Pied Piper take from the city of Hamelin? So over here we see Queen Victoria doing her shopping. I think she's been to Morrison's. Camberwell was, of course, a very popular Victorian shopping parade. It was one of the cheapest and best places to shop in the whole of London during the Victorian era. So our question for Q is, in which year did Queen Victoria die? So she was very well known and kind of dominated history throughout much of the 19th century. But in which year did she die? So behind us we can see the R for rainbow. But we're going to look for another R. This is something you're going to be looking for on the map. We're going to be looking for another R. Now, which popular fizzy drink brand had a factory in Camberwell once upon a time? Which popular fizzy drink brand once had a factory in Camberwell? Factory isn't there anymore, but the drinks brand is still made till this day. You can still get it in the supermarkets, but it first was in Camberwell, and you'll find a clue on the map as well. Which drinks brand beginning with R once had a factory in Camberwell? Which drinks brand once had a factory in Camberwell? So now we are going to come on to S. So for S, we're going to go for superhero. And I want you on the map to find a superhero. Find a superhero on the map. Ah, there's Queen Victoria. Paul has found Queen Victoria. Well done, Paul. So for S, I want you to find a superhero on the map. I want you to find a superhero on the map. Now we're going to make our way over to the back to the Tiger's Head pub for question T. So T is for tiger, of course. So some of you might have been looking for the tiger in the Tiger Head pub. So this is the tiger that was in the window of the pub not so long ago. You can see it from the inside. Kelly helped me to make this. It is made from sweet wrappers. My daughter also helped as well. There are a lot of chocolates to be eaten in order to get all these sweet wrappers. So we spent an afternoon eating chocolates and sticking them to the window of the pub. But we are going to look for something else that is above the pub. So you can see a sign here that was once upon a time above the Tiger's Head pub. You can only see part of the letters here. You can only see part of the letters of this sign. What is this sign that's advertising? What does it say? What is the sign that was once over the Tiger's pub, over the Tiger pub? What was the sign that was once over the Tiger pub? So you can see some of the letters here. You just need to figure out what the rest of this sign would have once said. So also T is also for tram as well. We've got a tram in our picture over here. Camberwell was once a had all manner of transportation. It had horse and carriages, it had buses, it had trams, it had bicycles. One thing it never really got round to doing was an underground. You can see on the picture down at the bottom here, the digging of the underground. So you can see them digging the hole in the street. So originally there was going to be an extension of the Bakerloo line that was originally supposed to go as far as Camberwell Green, and there would have been an underground station there. However, the project was incompleted. It was abandoned. And the underground tunnels remain unused to this day. They are said to still run under Camberwell. And it is said that a strange creature is supposed to live in the abandoned underground tunnels beneath Camberwell. Paul will know all about this. And not so long ago, I went on a monster hunting expedition. The beast that is said to live in the tunnels was said to emerge onto the green late at night and look for discarded pieces of kebab. We sprayed the smell of kebab all over the people using some essence distilled from a local kebab shop, and we wandered through the green late at night. There were some young children who were still up at this time, which I was somewhat surprised about, as it was quite late in the evening. However, as dusk fell, the beast emerged across the green. Now, some of you are thinking, the poor children, they must have been terrified by the appearance of this monster. They must have been terrified. No, they weren't. The monster, far from mauling the children, the monster was mauled by the children of Camberwell. I had to dive in and rescue him. We kept him as a pet for a few days. Here he is appearing at the Chutney Preserves Fair a few days later. However, we decided it was probably cruel to keep him confined, and it is no longer acceptable to keep caged animals at fairs. So he had to be released back into the wild, and he is still on the picture of Camberwell. So what I want you to do for you is look for the beast that lives under Camberwell, and he is emerging on to the picture. So have a look at your picture of Camberwell Green and see if you can find the beast. Oh, we might make it all the way through. So question number V. So find something in your house beginning with V. There were very few things beginning with V. I went for vicar, who was actually, I was going to ask you who the vicar was of Camberwell Green, but I don't think anybody's going to remember. So find something beginning with V. Find something beginning with V in your house. Oh, what is that, Kelly? Oh, Velcro. Well done. Well done. Have we got any others yet? Ah. Oh, what is that? Oh, velvet. Velvet. Well done. And Sarah's coming. Oh, vest. Excellent. Nice tie-dye. Nice tie-dye. Just waiting for Paul. So while we're waiting for Paul, so question number W, on the map, it was fine. There was a W for walkie-talkie. Has anybody found this yet? Has anybody found walkie-talkie on the map yet? No. Okay, question number W. Ah, Kelly has. Nobody has. Question number W is find walkie-talkie on the map. Find walkie-talkie. This is a slightly complicated one. But find walkie-talkie on the map. Find walkie-talkie on the map. So, find walkie-talkie. I'll give you just a little bit longer to do that, and then we shall move on to the next one. So we've got time for some answers before the end. So find walkie-talkie on the map. Meanwhile, we shall move on to X, which is for Xmas shopping. So here we have Father Christmas doing his shopping in Camberwell. I photographed him. I think this was 2015. He was photographed doing his shopping in the Butterfly Walk Poundland in Camberwell. So that was what I came up with for X. Obviously, X is a tricky one. So for X, and I'm going to give you a timer for this, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to find something beginning with X in your house. Find something beginning with X in your house. Oh, Paul's done it already. What is that, Paul? That's terrifying.
It's my Velcro.
Your Velcro?
Can you hear me? It's Velcro, yes.
Oh, B for Velcro. Oh, well done, Paul.
Correct, yes.
You need something beginning with X now. Go for it.
Really? Okay.
Like treasure hunts. We should do a treasure hunt, Paul. That should be.
Bingo.
Ah, what have you got? Oh, Xmas decoration.
Xmas.
Well done. Well done.
A treasure trove. We're giving all these away.
Oh.
But they're all for grabs. If you need anything for Christmas, anybody, they're all here in our house. You've got to risk death and disease and possibly transmitting the people you love. They could be sick, they'd be killed. But you've got to risk all that to pick up free Christmas baubles.
Free Christmas baubles. Sarah, well done. That was xylophone. So I don't think Kelly's found anything. I'm going to give Nicole one more moment, and then we're going to move on to Y. So Y on the map, you've probably been looking for him. It is Yinka Shinobare. Y is for Yinka Shinobare. So the reason I put him on the map is 10 years ago, I figured out when I was looking this up today, 10 years ago, Yinka Shinobare did this fantastic piece of artwork. It was on the side of the tower block by South London Gallery. And there had been a terrible fire a few months before in the tower block. And Yinka Shinobare came as part of an exhibition for South London Gallery called Nothing is Forever. And he decorated the side of the building in his wonderful patterned fabric. So I thought he deserved to go onto the map as I remember it. Now, one of the things I mentioned earlier was, had I done Camberwell Arts Festival for 10 years, and I could only find a photo from 2011 was the oldest one. And then when I was looking this exhibition up, I suddenly remembered I'd done something while this was on. And we did, it was at South London Gallery. And the reason I couldn't find a photo was I wrote a song. So I was going to have to ask Kelly whether Nothing is Forever, because it was in June 2010. Was it part of Camberwell Arts Festival? You're going to have to look that up. But it was definitely, the launch was during the festival. So I can't remember if it was or not. That is one to think about. So if it is, I've done 10 years, but if it's not, we'll have to start counting. We'll have to do next year as 10 years. But that was why I couldn't find a photo, because I'd written a song that year and I wrote it with the kids at South London Gallery. So anyway, Y is for Yinka Shinobare, and he does these fantastic artworks out using African fabric, while others have been tearing down sculptures to do with colonialism. Yinka Shinobare has fantastically and most admiringly found a way to put up sculptures about colonialism that talk about it, the good things and the bad things. He's a very inspiring artist to look at the moment. If you're getting a bit depressed by all the stuff that's going on, go on Yinka Shinobare's website and look at his work. It cheers me up. He's also made some other artworks. He made a notable, after this piece of art, he made an even more famous piece of public art, which was on the 4th plinth in Trafalgar Square. What did Yinka Shinobare make for the 4th plinth on Trafalgar Square? What did Yinka Shinobare make for the 4th plinth on Trafalgar Square? Oh, and here we go. You can see him in the picture. Here we go. I met him probably just before he did the thing in Camberwell, actually. I met him. He was a really nice gentleman, actually, very kind, generous chap. We were told to be I was a student at the time. I was told to be very kind of reverent of him, because he was a very, very important person. He had an MBE, and then we met him and he was very nice and couldn't do more to help students. Very kind chap. So we will now move on to our final letter, which is Z, and then we're going to do some answers. So Z on our map is for Zonkey. A Zonkey is a real animal. It's a crossbreed of 2 different animals. Which 2 animals is a Zonkey a crossbreed of? Which 2 animals is a Zonkey a crossbreed of? So write the answer and then we're going to give you some answers. So I'm going to flick back through my notes. It's nice to see some of the people in the group have been in some of these artworks as well. So we're going to go back to the start in a moment, and we're going to look for A. So have you all finished your answers here already?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So I'm going to get you to mark your own answers, please.
That's handy.
Be honest, and whoever gets the highest number of answers will win a print. So we're going to go to A. A was, what was the name of the space mission launched by Elon Musk about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And can you find it on the map? So if we look right at the top here, just shooting past the rainbow, we can see the SpaceX spaceship that launched into space. Cost millions upon millions of pounds. Camberwell's own space project cost significantly less, made entirely from things at the pound shop. So that was A. A was the answer with SpaceX. B was for bingo, and I very nearly gave this one away by mistake. Here we can see the bingo machine. But what 2 little ducks, what number does that represent? 2 little ducks in bingo is the number 22. 22. C was, I asked you to find a famous Camberwell movie star who began with C. And if we look kind of down, oh, this side, that's Joseph Chamberlain. Over this side, if you look closely, let's see if I can find a zoomed in version. Here we go. Down here, just waiting by the pedestrian crossing, we will see Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, who first appeared at Fred Carno's Fun Factory in Camberwell. And D was for dog. D was for dog. And which is the most popular breed of dog in London? I guessed it was going to be Staffy Bull Terrier, but it's not at all. They're not even in the top 10. The most popular breed of dog is something far more fashionable and is the French Bulldog. The French Bulldog is the most popular dog in London. The Kennel Club. Now we go to E, which is for Edward's safety cycles. Now you're going to need to be honest for this one. So we're looking for a bicycle built in 1908, and in 1908 was the safety bicycle, and it is not this one. It is not the penny farthing. It is this one over here. The safety bicycle was the first kind of modern style bicycle where you could sit and pedal. And one of the first places to sell them was Edward's Cycles in Camberwell. If you went on our travelling museum of British invention, which I did with Kelly a few years ago, you would know that there was an exhibition all about it. F was for Camberwell Fair, and we saw Florence Welch playing the Camberwell Fair. Fortunately, she's had to cancel due to COVID, so you'll only get a picture of her this year. No Florence and the Machine. But which year was the Camberwell Fair closed? Which year was it closed? And it was closed in the year 1855. And the the fair where it was staged, was sold to the local vestry. So it was 1855. Did anybody get that?
No.
No, I might give a... oh, you did get it, Kelly. Kelly got it. Okay, I was going to give a mark for who got the closest, but Kelly got the closest. She actually got it. Well done, Kelly. You probably read the book. So G was for St Giles.
Yes.
Here we see the spire of St Giles. And let's look on our map. And over here, we see St Giles by his well. And what was his pet? His pet that he lived with was a deer. St Giles lived with a deer, and he was snuggled up with the deer when a hunter came, saw the deer and shot it, but accidentally shot St Giles. However, he recovered from that terrible injury and became Saint of the Crooked.
Wow.
He was also a hermit, and our next question was about the Hermit's Cave pub. So here we go. Here's the Hermit's Cave. Anybody's been looking for it on the map. So the Hermit's Cave is on the corner of 2 streets in Camberwell. Is on the corner of Camberwell Church Street, which I think some of you probably would have got. And the other road that leads the other way past it is Grove Lane. So the next question was about the evil eye on the map. There's an evil eye on the map, and can you find the evil eye? And the evil eye is over here above the Tiger's Head pub. I'm going to show you some old photos at the end of the in a moment, and you will see that I have created it as an evil eye. I'm not sure if it is an evil eye, but it does look a bit like it in the old photos. J is for jungle. I wanted you all to find something beginning with J. So if you've got your objects to hand, you can hold them up. But I think everybody got a point for J. Finding something beginning with J. We got jar. We got 2 jugs. And Paul had a jacket, I think it was. Yes. So, and K was for kebab. And I want you to name a kebab shop in Camberwell. I want you to name a kebab shop in Camberwell. And the one you can see just peeking out in the image here, which says grill, is the Golden Grill, is next door to the Tiger. It's the Golden Grill in Camberwell. The other kebab shops you could have got were Bolu, Mangal, Fladder I might let you get away with. But the best one, which does the vegetarian ones, is called Falafel and Swarma. So any of those I would have given you a point for. L was for library. Here we go. Here's Camberwell Library. And I wanted to know which year the new Camberwell Library was opened. The library was finally completed, and it was officially opened in November 2015. November 2015.
Got that one wrong.
I probably would have got 2016 for that. So because it was towards the end of the year, so you weren't in Camberwell. You might have missed it until the start of the next year. So N, we went to night bus, and our night bus was driven by an owl down here. And I wanted to know what a group of owls are called. A group of owls is called a parliament of owls. A parliament of owls.
You missed out educating Rita.
Oh, I did. So M, sorry about that. So M was for Michael Caine and educating Rita. And in educating Rita, Michael Caine was played opposite Julie Walters. Julie Walters was the female lead in educating Rita in 1983. Apologies for that. So P, for P, I wanted to know the Pied Piper. He took the rats away and then they refused to pay him, so he took something else in return. And the Pied Piper led away all the children. You can see the children there following the Pied Piper out of Camberwell. And that was written by Robert Browning. And Q was for Queen Victoria. Which year did Queen Victoria die? She actually made it as far as the 20th century, and she died in January 1901. So Queen Victoria died in 1901. R was for the fizzy drink brand that was in Camberwell. And if we look here on the tram, you can see R White's Lemonade is advertised. So the answer to R was R White's Lemonade, which the factory was first in Camberwell. Obviously, it had to move out now, like many factories did. S was for superhero. There were 2 things in the photo you could have chosen, but I am going to give you a point up here. So we've got superhero. Superman is getting some takeaway from Camberwell there. If you got Batman, I'm not going to allow that because he's technically got no superpowers. He's climbing. He's not super. He's just a hero. Right. T was for which popular product is advertised above the pub here. So you can see Batman is climbing up the sign. So which product was it? And the sign above the old Tiger's Head was Bovril. It used to advertise Bovril, and there you can see the evil eye above the pub as well. So that is based on fact. Now, Bovril, I spent some time researching, trying to find a particular connection with Bovril and Camberwell. There are no obvious ones. The only one I could possibly come up with is it's above the pub, and Bovril is made from yeast extract, which is a byproduct of the brewing industry. So I guess they might have got some of their yeast from the same brewery who owned the pub. That's the only possible connection I could find. The only other thing I found out about Bovril was the name Bovril. It was a bovine product, so they wanted to make a vast amount of meaty drinks for the French army. They didn't have quite enough beef stock, so they supplemented it with a kind of Marmite type product made from excess yeast. And the guy who invented it, he called it Bovril. And Bovril, the first part is bow, as in bovine. And the second part comes from vril, which is from an obscure sci-fi novel from the 18th century, which I got hold of a copy of and started reading. And in the book, it is about a lost civilization that lived underground. And they had a magical power, a control over things. And the power they had was called vril. So it's Bov and then Vril, after this magical power of Bovril. However, the emblem of this civilized ancient race was an evil eye, and that is why above the Bovril sign in the picture, you will see an evil eye, because it's the evil eye appears in popular culture quite a lot of times. It's called it's sometimes called a black sun, and it appears in all kinds of weird conspiracy theories. So you can go and look that up later. So that is where Bovril gets its name. We then had U, which was underground, and it was Find the Beast. Let me see if I can find the Beast. Where is he? Where is he? He is hiding in the image.
No.
Oh. Here we go, and you can see him here just lurking down by the Camberwell. There is the Beast of Camberwell Green, and the Beast of Camberwell Green was played by Paul Wadey, who is with us tonight. Thank you, Paul. And he was very nearly mauled to death by the children of Camberwell. Thank you, Paul. I apologise for that. So the Beast is there. Hopefully, you found the Beast, and. Then V was Find Something beginning with V. I think pretty much everybody did that. If you've got your V things, hold them up. We had Vest. We had Velcro. Yeah, Paul's got Velcro. Kelly's got Velcro. And we had Velvet from Nicole as well. W was Find the Walkie-Talkie. So this was a trick one. If you go look at the back on the skyline, you will see the walkie-talkie building. So that was the walkie-talkie. X was for Xmas shopping and Find Something beginning with X. Who I think we had some Xmas decorations from Paul. We had a xylophone. There we go. Did you find anything beginning with X, Nicole? No. Okay. If you found something beginning with X, get a point. Y was for Yinka Shinabare. You can see in his picture here, this was the Yinka Shinabare installation on the side of the tower block in Camberwell in 2010. And he also did the fourth plinth in Trafalgar Square, and he made a ship in a bottle. And that has since been moved to Greenwich, so you can still go and see it. It's quite an amazing piece of artwork, piece of public artwork that talks about colonialism, but in a slightly more complex way, and gives us a bit of hope. So there we go. And the last question was Z for Zonky, which was on the map, crossing the road down here. There's our Zonky. And a Zonky is a crossbreed of a zebra and a donkey. So there we go. So there are all your answers. Did anybody get 26 out of 26?
No.
No?
No. I got about 4.
You got 4? Oh, Paul.
4.
So can anybody do better than 4?
4 or 5.
What was the answer to the bike one?
That was the answer to the bike one was
4 or 5.
you had to find the bicycle, and it was not the penny farthing. But as you should know, Kelly, you probably wrote the script for this that I illustrated a few years ago.
Well, I'm trying to remember if I can.
So on, where is it? So you can see it. Let's see if I can find it. It was not the penny farthing. It was the other bicycle, which is in one of the pictures here. I can't find it now.
Sort of just in front of the tram.
Yeah, it's just in front of the tram. So down here, you'll see a lady on a Victorian bicycle. This side, here we go. Just down by the tram. And you'll see a Victorian cycling lady. She's riding a safety bicycle. So yes, that is what we were looking for. If you've got penny farthing, you don't get a point because that is not a safety bicycle. They were quite unsafe and dangerous machines. The safety bicycles, practical, useful bicycle. Any other? Anybody got better than 4?
We got 13.
Oh, 13. Sarah is in the lead.
I think I got 15.
15. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicole is in the lead with 15. Kelly, what did you get?
We have that.
24, but obviously I've sort of
This filter.
involved in quite a lot of the project. So.
Oh, right. So what I'll do is I'll give you a prize, Kelly, and then I'll give Nicole a
I
run.
think, I probably should be disqualified.
I'll give Nicole a runners-up prize, and I think I'm going to give Paul a booby prize as well. I think
Something beginning with V.
V. So if anybody's watching on Facebook or on the Camberwell Arts website, if you drop me an email, my email address is frogmorris@frogmorris.net. If you think you did better, and you weren't in our Zoom chat, you can drop me an email if you're watching online with your claim to be the winner, and I'll try and send some prizes down to you if they ever come back from the printers. So yes.
I'll try and spend more time around Camberwell in the future.
There we go. If any of you don't live in Camberwell, it's quite tricky. I was expecting quite a lot of Camberwell residents.
No, it was well, you just need to spend a lot of time perusing Frog's artwork. So.
There we go. Yeah, well, there's loads of stuff to look for on the map, and if you go on the website,
both your artworks.
there. If you go on the website, there's a clues page with some extra bits and pieces. You can find all the artworks. I think if you also look closely as well, I would like to say a special thank you to Kelly and Shauna, who, if you look carefully, you'll see them there up behind the button.
Where's Debbie? Is she in the window of the tiger?
Oh yeah, and Debbie is just behind me here. So Debbie is just down there in the window of the Tiger's Head pub. So, yes. So they are they are all hidden in there because they have been yes, very wonderful people to work with. If it is 10 years, I don't know if it is 10 years, but depends if that exhibition counts, because technically it's South London Gallery, but the opening might have been during the festival.
I think it was 2011.
Yeah. I think 2011. I was racking my brains. I was sure there was something before then, but I think they technically were Camberwell Arts Festival. So I think we'll go for 2011, and we can celebrate 10 years next year properly once we're allowed out.
Right stuff.
And can have a proper beer and go through everything. So it's
an absolutely brilliant artwork. Thank you so much, Rob.
Well, it's up online. Share it round.
It is extraordinary detail. Yeah, it's a magnificent piece of art.
And just so you know, Debbie's going mad.
The Camberwell Burke's tapestry.
Frog, I think you should do a colouring in version.
Yeah, actually, there is another version
Is it?
Well, there's loads of extra stuff to come. There's loads of extra stuff that was made while I was doing it as well. But
I just think it would be really pleasing to colour in, you know, just because they're really nice drawings. So
yeah, it was probably a good idea. To be honest, colouring it in was it'd taken quite a lot of time to draw, so the colouring in was quite a stressful late night experience. So I didn't put the colouring up one up straight away, but yeah, it will come.
cool.
Yeah, it will come. But yeah, I have got a black and white version. And actually, if you like colouring in, you can also get the Camberwell colouring in book. There you go, on the Camberwell website.
Oh, what a sales job!
So do another edition. Yeah, I recommend this. Go and get that book and get the travel guide to Camberwell as well when that is reissued. So yes.
Travel guide. It's a Camberwell tourist book.
There is.
Yeah,
Come
yes.
to sunny Rome,
We had a
Paris,
one festival. Like
Camberwell.
Yeah, actually, there's Amy. Amy's in the picture as well, because when I was reading,
Brilliant.
actually, there is an A to Z, and I did realise halfway through doing this, there is an A to Z in the travel guides that Amy had done.
Yeah.
Hence my kind of feeling like, I probably had a bit of an unfair advantage.
Yeah, so I did put her and her dog in the picture as a tribute that I had. When
We could do some Camberwell folk
I was trying not
songs
to do the same
from.
things, but there were a few where I had to.
I'll tell Amy she's in it. That is definitely the shortest looking sausage dog I've seen. Or the longest legged, one of the two, I'm not sure which.
We could do a whole load of songs of Camberwell throughout the ages, from the medieval songs to the folk songs.
Yes, this is the other thing I should say before we finish, actually. I promised to plug this, on Saturday, which may clash with what Camberwell Arts are doing, I'm also doing Musicity, which is from 1 till 8 p.m. You can book tickets online on the if you go on Camberwell Arts is running at the same time, but if you've got 2 screens, you could probably watch both. And in that, we're telling the history of Bermondsey, so and we've done there's a webcast coming out for that, so and you can sing along.
You're not trying to tell me that Bermondsey's got a history to compete with Camberwell.
Well, it's pretty good. You can find out. You can find out on Sunday if you have time. Otherwise, if you don't have time, we'll probably put it up on video or something afterwards. If you go on the Musicity website, there is a song by myself and Darren Callow, which if you can't make it to that because you're at Camberwell closing party, you can
maybe it should be a collaboration then, and we can show your song as part of our...
I was going to say, I think there are other people involved in Camberwell who are doing this too, so I think
we'll sort of swap screens, go between the two, but that sounds great. I'm sure we can plug it on our festival page as well. So. And anyone who's not too busy watching frog songs at Musicity can join our closing party, which I'm sure we'll kind of feature some of this as part of, and your animated alphabet as well. So been keeping you busy yet again this year. So.
Do check out, go and have a look at the animated alphabet on artofmagiclantern.co.uk, and also in that you'll even find a link if you do all the Magic Lantern stuff. There's a link to Sarah, who's down there, and her fantastic animated animation she's done that we did sang on Saturday,
which is also now on the website, and I think a soundtrack by community choirs and local singers, which will also give the final version at our final closing party.
Oh, excellent. Oh, yes, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
You can still contribute vocals until Friday. Jordan was saying.
I think
still accepting vocals.
Then before Friday, he'll include it in the final version. So anyone who hasn't been singing, get singing. And it's a great animation. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out.
Excellent. Right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I shall. We are slightly over. We're supposed to finish at 9, so we probably should finish shortly. I suspect. I suspect Shauna probably wants to get off Zoom. It's quite exhausting being on it all day. So. Have a lovely evening. It's lovely to see everybody, and thank you for coming and playing the quiz, and enjoy it and share it. And I hopefully will see you for real at next year's Camberwell Arts Festival, and hopefully many of you before then.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Shauna.
Bye.